travel all over the country for stand-up. I love it. Travel all over. Favorite place to travel, I will tell you, is around the South. That's my favorite for a couple of reasons. One, I love looking at billboards. And the South has the best. Because if you keep your eyes open, you start to realize people are learning things on billboards in the South you should not be learning from a billboard. And it's amazing. I was down in Georgia, about an hour outside of Atlanta, saw this one huge board, giant letters. All it said was, "Never shake a baby." Like, I don't have kids, but if that's where you're learning that, you definitely shouldn't have them either. Right? I don't want to meet the guy that's helping. Just one angry guy in the front of a car, like... Never? I had no idea. Nobody told me. No, not once. Not from high school health class till the nurses let us take it home. So, thank you, billboard. Like... I have another tick when I travel. I drive to a lot of gigs. This is very rare I get to fly anywhere. When I'm on the road, I count Waffle Houses everywhere I go. Are you guys familiar? Up here? Some of you, maybe like 3 or 4, the rest of you. Well, okay, let me ask you, you're not familiar. Where do you guys go at like 1 in the morning for breakfast food? Denny's? Okay. A Waffle House is like if a Denny's came from a broken home. That's an accurate description. And they are everywhere throughout the South. I drove from Raleigh, North Carolina to Huntsville, Alabama. It is an 8.5-hour drive. There are 37 Waffle Houses. Yeah, I did the math. That is 1 every 13.5 miles. That is a diabetic Oregon Trail, is what that is. Right? Dad just stuffs everyone in the car, and you gotta just follow one to the next, to the next. You gotta cross a river, Dad loses a foot, and then most of the family dies from dysentery. Yeah, if 90s video games taught us anything, it's that poo and fart aren't making it to Oregon, so. About 10 of you laughed at that. And I like that. I do, because if you laugh at that joke, that tells me a little bit about you as a person. It does. It tells me you're about my age and your elementary school had a computer lab. Yeah, and you got to mess around a couple hours on a Tuesday, right? All your family died by Independence Rock, so you went hunting for 45 minutes. You wound up with too much meat to take back to the Conestoga wagon, because you're gunning down buffalo, and you're way hitting squirrels with those little square bullets, okay? You gotta ford a river, you gotta caulk the wagon, you break an axle, a lot of your oxen die. Am I still doing this joke, people that have no clue what I'm talking about? Yeah, I am. And it's called commitment. I'm an artist, and now I'm a little lightheaded. Oh. Learn a lot about yourself on the road. I learn a lot about myself driving everywhere. I learned recently I have road rage. That's a thing in my life. But I learned I have small-scale road rage, right? Like, you put me on a major highway and traffic just slows to a crawl, I am zen in that moment. I'm at peace, right? Because it's like, okay, traffic's here. Eventually it's gonna move. I'm gonna reach my destination. There's nothing to get upset about. But you shrink that down, though. You put me in a grocery store parking lot at 3 p.m. on a Wednesday. I will lose my mind every time. Here's the thing, is I don't think I'm ridiculous, right? I don't think I'm ridiculous, because all I want is courtesy. That's all I want. If I pull up to a crosswalk, stop my car, and give you the right of way, put a little pep in your step, people. Yes! Exactly! I don't care who you are. You pick up that oxygen tank and you run, Grandma. Like, got a fake hip. You can't move it a little quicker through this Trader Joe's? All right. I got a little intense. Let's calm down. I do want to talk about something kind of serious for a minute. I love the South. I'm from the South. And the more I travel around this country, the more I've started to see a prejudice that I don't appreciate as the person I am. And I'm talking, of course, about the prejudice against the Southern accent. I'm sick of it. Okay, especially in pop culture and everything. Everyone loves making fun of the South. You got a TV show with a character they consider of lower intelligence, they always give them a Southern accent. And it's gotta stop. Every show has a character that pops in for an episode just like, what? What's going on? Well, I'll tell you this, my name's Gerald Bob, and I don't know nothing about this book learning, all right? Like, I'm from the South. We don't sound like that. We don't all sound like that, all right? Like, I know. But the more you travel, what you start to realize is nobody's dialect makes them sound more intelligent. There's not a hierarchy to it. You're gonna make fun of the South? That's fine. But have you ever been to Boston? Oh, what, you think you're gonna go up there, MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, open a classroom door, and the professor's gonna be like, look, we're building these supercomputers, all right? Yo, these things are wicked fast. Yeah, actually, hey, if you're interested, real quick, pop out back to the facility, right? We're building this Hadron Collider, just whipping atoms together, trying to find the God particle. Yeah, if we're successful, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go to Dunks is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to Dunkin' Donuts, we're gonna drink a 12-pack of Sam Adams, we're gonna fist fight my brother, go Sox. Like, that is... You would never hear that. You gotta park the car, we're gonna park it out back. Tom Brady left us for Florida, like... You don't like that? That's fine, too. Go further into the South. Go into Florida. Listen to them talk. It's different and not better. And I don't mean Orlando, Miami. I mean go an hour outside of Jacksonville, Florida, and just listen to people be like, hey, Bobby Sue, hold the wheel while I throw this gator through the Wendy's drive-thru, or whatever. Whatever they're doing. You get down around Tampa and they're like, Carol Baskin didn't do it. It's like, nope. Nope, that's not everybody else's consensus, Florida. She did it. Can you guys believe how long it's been since we all met Joe Exotic? Since we all met the greatest American of all time? I loved Tiger King. Loved it. Loved it. I've watched it like 9 times. I watch Tiger King like uninteresting people watch The Office. You know what I'm saying? So many times. Here's the thing. More than I liked watching Tiger King, I liked watching other people watch it. Right? Because you would get people that would binge the entire series, then go on Twitter like, can you believe someone would act like that Joe Exotic gentleman? And I'm from the South. So I'm like, yes. A guy with a mullet that likes to blow stuff up, that's Randy. He's our sheriff. What are we doing? Yeah, he's got 9 DUIs and we keep re-electing him. Because he's also the judge, lawyer, bailiff, mayor. Like, what are we? People love to make fun of Joe Exotic like it's this kind of rare thing. It's not. I don't think people really realize how many Joe Exotics exist in this country. I think as Americans, we'd like to act like we're really cosmopolitan, you know? Oh, I spend time in New York and then I jet set to LA. That's 2 cities. There's a lot of stuff in between those cities. And it is filled with Joe Exotics. And I sleep better knowing it. That they're out there protecting us. Oh my gosh, you guys are in Utah. You think I fear a foreign invasion from the East Coast? No way. They're not getting past West Virginia. Are you kidding me? That's the reason you never see an Avengers movie where the heroes have to go defend Iowa. I was fine. If some aliens ever came to Earth and tried to start something, they'd get as far as Tuscaloosa, Alabama, before the last thing they ever hear is a redneck racking his shotgun like, roll tide, like that would be it. It's not even a Southern thing. It's not even an American thing. It's worldwide. Rednecks are worldwide. We should embrace them. Like, I'll give you an example. I love Formula One racing, okay? If you're not familiar, it's basically Europe's NASCAR. That's a very simple explanation, but it makes my point. But people think because it's European, it must be fancy and posh. It's not. You go watch some of those old races where they would like race through the streets of Paris, France. You will see legitimate French guys standing on the curb of the street with a glass of wine and a cigarette while a rocket filled with jet fuel runs 3 feet from their face, and they're like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. That is redneck! You can't tell me if they tore down the fences at Daytona Motor Speedway, you wouldn't get at least one guy sitting on the start-finish line on a Yeti like, tell him to go around, dude. I paid for this ticket. Australia, full of rednecks. Full of them. Oh, Steve Irwin, rest in peace, King. Listen, the crocodile hunter, he was mouth-kissing cobras, wrestling with gators. That dude is a different accent and a bush light away from being from Louisiana. Can we all agree? The rednecks aren't dumb either. Southerners, we're not dumb. People love to make fun of it, right? It's not true, okay? I mentioned Huntsville, Alabama earlier, right? If you've never been there, Huntsville's nickname is Rocket City, okay? Because the Apollo rocket that put a man on the moon was invented and built in Huntsville, Alabama. Is that not weird to anybody else? Right? The state that gave us the Confederate flag also gave us the rocket that put a man on the moon. I think those two things are more connected than people want to admit. Maybe that's how the Apollo program started. It was just two rednecks hanging out down there in Huntsville, right? It's like the 1960s. They're like, it's been 100 years since the Civil War. And all these people from Pennsylvania, Massachusetts think they're gonna come down here and tell us what to do? Not on my watch, Ricky. Here's what I'm thinking. You see that grain silo over there? I'm gonna need you to empty it, okay? Then I'm gonna need you to get your hands on all the gasoline and Black Cat fireworks you can find. And you and me, Ricky, we're getting our behinds to that night sun. That's what we're gonna do.